it going? Good evening, good evening. Happy Tuesday. This is Royal with Talk Show Central RTV style. And tonight we have easygoing politics. We're bringing all the way from Harlingen, Texas, we're bringing in the lady, the next mayor of Harlingen. Norma is coming to town, guys. Here she is. Without further ado, here she is. How's it going, Norma?
Hi, Royal. It's going
right?
great. It's going great.
Great. Well, I'm glad you're here and you are running for mayor of Harlingen. So before we get into it, how was your day? How are things going on?
It's going great. First and foremost, Royal, thank you for having me on your show. It's an honor, and I'm glad that you're giving me this platform to talk to everyone. So I appreciate that, and I appreciate all you do. I see your shows that you're trying to give a little to all of the people that are running, so that way people have an idea of what's going on. So thank you for that. My day has been crazy since October 20th when I announced. Every day I'm working hard. I'm working hard at the office, campaigning, and with the family. So every day is full from the moment I wake up to the time we go to bed. So it's been crazy every day, but I'm blessed that I'm able to do this. So no complaints from me.
Oh man, great. And early voting started yesterday. And how has that gone?
So I'm glad you asked that question. I wanted to inform your viewers the difference between the primaries, which is what's happening right now, and of course my election. So primaries are designed for partisan politics, right? So you have your Republicans and the Democrats, and it's our job as voters to go and nominate who we want to represent us on either party. So that's what you're seeing right now. The primaries are for people to go out and vote for, we have judges, U.S. Congressmen, state reps, county commissioners. That's what you're going to see on the ballot. You will not see me on the ballot until early voting for city elections, which occurs at the last 2 weeks of April, and election day being May 7th.
Wow. Pretty cool. Well, great. Yeah, I mean, there's elections going on. There's other elections, and then we have the ones in November. And so, yeah, I mean, it's a lot of stuff out there, and voters need to know because they wonder, okay, hey, how come I didn't see Norma's name, and here we are, and or then they forget, well, maybe I voted in the wrong party or whatever, and I said, that kind of deal. So wow, so that is great to know. Let me ask you this. Let's just get into it. I normally do a chit chat, but let's just get into this. Let me ask you this. Why are you seeking public office, Norma?
That's a wonderful question. I am seeking office because I love Harlingen. I was born and raised here. I'm 45 years old, been here my entire life, except for when I've left to go to school, come back. And I want better for our city. I think that I can bring new vision to the city of Harlingen. We've had the same leadership for too long. And it's time for us to regain that status. When I was growing up, Harlingen was like the capital of the valley. Everybody wanted to be in Harlingen.
Right.
Now, unfortunately, we're seeing San Benito even growing, Mercedes, Westlaco, Hidalgo, Brownsville, and Harlingen has kind of just been stagnant. And that's the reason, that, and I want a better Harlingen for my family and for everyone else.
Right. No, and that's definitely, you know what, as I bring candidates in, that's one of the things that I'm hearing. Before it's okay, I'm running because I want to run this, but now they're seeing that something's wrong with the system. We have these career politicians that have been there forever. Y no compone nada. They don't fix anything. Everything's the same way it was. And in some cases, getting worse. It's like, you buy a car, right? You buy a brand new car and, there's maintenance. There's maintenance you do. You do the 10,000 mile, the 20,000, the 50,000, que los oil changes, que the alignment, and this and that. You gotta do something to the car. You just don't turn it on and drive it because it's not gonna last you, right? Same thing with the city. And I think since it's smaller, it's not like a county, it's not like a state, smaller. You should be able to pay more attention to it and bring growth. I know one of our viewers had posted on the post that you were coming in. We need better jobs in Harlingen, and I'm sure you agree with that.
100%, 100%. We are very fortunate in the city of Harlingen that we have a lot of education opportunities for our kids. We have an excellent school system. My son's going to be graduating. He's a senior. He's a Cardinal. He's graduating this year. And I'm really proud of the school district. And we also have TSDC. We have this great foundation for our kids to educate themselves and to come out and be ready for the workforce. But if there's no jobs, they're not going to stay here. So we need good paying jobs not only for our high school graduates, but our college graduates, our higher learning graduates. And that's what we need in the city of Harlingen that we don't have. So yes, we have excellent school system, but in order to keep those kids here, in order for them to want to continue their education in Harlingen, we need to have those opportunities. And if we want them to continue to, I want my kids to stay here and raise their families, here in Harlingen. And we don't do that without good paying jobs.
Yeah, I mean that's so true. I mean, we live in Brownsville and we have we have a nice house, and the whole bit. But my son ain't gonna come back to Brownsville. I mean, he's living up in Austin, and actually he was in San Antonio. Now he moved to Austin, and hey, hey, Dad, there's nothing down there, man.
Yes,
and I don't blame him.
Right. That's what my son said. He's like, you know what, Mom, I'm graduating. He can't wait. They don't know because they're kids. They can't wait to leave. But I tell him, I try to, to explain to him, our culture, our values, why he should be here. And he says, there's nothing for me in Harlingen. So I said, well, you know what? I'm going to make it my priority to change that, and make it inviting for the younger kids to want to come back to Harlingen.
And even other kids from other states to come in and say, you know what, let's build our families here, because the Valley is unique compared to any other place in the United States, and it's like we have the culture, we have everything, and now with SpaceX coming in, and the cities are booming. For so long, all the little cities between Harlingen and McAllen were just, they were just dead, and now they're coming alive. Westlake's coming alive, Mercedes a little bit, and it's growing. And Harlingen, que se digo, it's been growing, but they need more. It needs more, and it's like, it's like you need somebody fresh to come in with new ideas.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes, absolutely. What's important is that we have term limits, right? We have term limits for our president. We have term limits for certain legislators, most governors. We can't have people coming in and running our city for 20 plus years, because if you do the same thing every time, you're going to have the same result. You want change, you want something better, then we have to change it up. We don't do that by electing the same people over and over. 24 years of the same leadership is enough.
Yeah, nada pasa, nothing changes. It's true. We do need term limits, and that is true. We definitely need them, right? So let me ask you another question here. The first one was, why are you seeking office? Why are you seeking office? Let me shoot on to the next one. So what makes you the best candidate? Really, why should we vote for you? What's so great about you? Why are you the best candidate?
So I am the best candidate. Right now, it's just me and the incumbent, right? So there's two choices for the city of Harlingen. Like I mentioned, you continue to do the same thing, you're going to have the same result, right? And I have been getting this question a lot. What are your qualifications, Norma? Why should we elect you, for this position? You're not a politician, and I say that's my strength, that I'm not a politician. I'm a regular person. I'm a mom. I'm a wife. I'm a daughter. But more than anything, I've lived in Harlingen the majority of my life, and I know the struggles that our residents go through. When you grow up and you have to struggle to graduate, and you have to struggle to find good work, and you come from very humble beginnings, and to be successful, you never forget where you came from. So I know how it feels with not being able to pay the light bill, to think, oh, when the light goes out, did I pay the bill, or what happened? I understand those those feelings that people have wanting to have a good paying job. And so I'm going to be able to relate to the people in a way that is sincere. And I really do care about the city of Harlingen. I want to make sure that we have a municipal government that is representing the people of Harlingen and not just certain people within the city, you know, a voice for everyone. And that's what I feel that I can bring to the table, because I can relate to the struggles of the people. And I'm also, you know, I may not be a politician, but I'm a businesswoman.
There you go.
I started my business, you know, 12 years ago, and now I'm still going strong.
Very
And I
good.
employ people. I know how it is to, you know, to go through COVID and having our doors closed to the public. I know how
Mhm.
it feels, you know, not being, you know, wondering if we're going to be able to make payroll.
No, man, yeah.
Those kinds of struggles, you know, small businesses, I can relate to people, and I will always have my door open to all the constituents, all the residents of the city of Harlingen, so that so that way I am that voice for them. And I
Right.
think that's something that we have never had in the city of Harlingen. We have never had as long as I have been here, I've never felt that the person that has run our city has represented me individually
Mm.
or my family. And I want
Right.
to do that for the city of Harlingen.
Right. It's like they're only representing a certain sector of the city.
Right.
You know, certain streets, certain nice homes, you know, that kind of deal. Certain businesses. And you're a
Exactly.
businesswoman. I mean, you're a lawyer, right? Am I right?
Right.
You're a lawyer, and so you're not. Yeah, I mean, you're not average Joe that just woke up and said, "Oh, I think I'm gonna run for mayor." No,
Right.
there's you got some brains up here, and you know how to work things, and you know how to put things together. You're an independent woman that's strong, that has thoughts, that's going to definitely run a great show here. I mean, who else than a woman to run a city? I mean, you guys are awesome. Uh, you know, moms and run awesome households, and you also bring home the bacon and you stir it up in the pan. And remember that stories from back in the day. But you know what? You are a leader, and you know it's. And I've always said a leader is a person not that gets the title, but a leader is a person that's already doing things in that direction, and then is just given the title. Pero it's not like, you know, como te diré, they just keep doing what they've been doing all along, and then of course gain more responsibilities. But that's who I see you are, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to bring you in, because I think that Harlingen is going to receive a great benefit, a hidden treasure, shall we say, and just see you shine and bring about great changes for Harlingen. You know, I couldn't see why people wouldn't vote for you. I mean, it's been 20 years. You say that this mayor has been in office.
So the current mayor he started as a commissioner in 1998. And now he is, you know, since 1998 was on the commission, and then since 2007. So this will be his sixth term. And we have 3-year terms. So 15 years as a mayor, and then another handful of years on the commission. So has in total 24 years leading the city of Harlingen.
Of controlling it, you know.
Right.
Omar Villarreal says, "Hey, Harlingen has been is being thrown a lifeline." Yes, it's like,
Absolutely.
oh, what's going on? And Norma's it, you know. That's right, and it's true. I can tell you this: if a politician or mayor or commissioner or whatever has been running for so long, okay, I would agree to that if at least every 5 years there's certain changes. You know,
Right.
it's like our infrastructure. Uh, you know, I don't know how much pull you have as far as that, but you know, there's problems there. You know, every time it rains, it floods. I don't know if Harlingen too much, but I know other cities in the valley, Brownsville floods, Westlaco, I mean, it's like blocks underwater. You know, and it's like I think certain areas of Harlingen, man, you know, they're underwater at times. I'm sure, right? Am I right?
Actually, here in Harlingen, in the city of Harlingen, the vast majority of the city is prone to flooding. It's a huge problem. And that's probably the number one issue. I've been, on the campaign trail since October 20th, sitting down and talking with people individually. And I have spoken with residents that, they get water in their homes and they're just tired of having to fix it. They just, they're not even repairing the sheetrock. It's really heartbreaking to see that the same people get flooded year after year after year, and that really nothing is done.
Right.
If you look on paper, and you'll see on the city website that it'll say millions and millions of dollars have been, we have contributed to invest in our infrastructure and in our flooding and draining issues, but as a citizen, you and I, we can walk outside,
Right.
and when it rains and we see the flooding, we see the cars floating away on the street, literally underwater.
Yeah.
You can say all day that you're investing, but what you're doing is not working. And so we have to make those changes. The city of Harlingen has to take a regional approach and work with the other cities in Cameron County.
Amen.
And also in Hidalgo County.
Yes.
You better believe if it's raining in McAllen or in Hidalgo or Mission, that's going to come down to us here in the Lower Valley. So until we take a regional approach and we collaborate with leaders across the valley, we will not fix our problem. Harlingen has to get out of that bubble, and work with our neighboring cities.
Well, Norma, maybe it's a new thing. I mean, I'm sure 20 years ago it would rain a lot, it wouldn't flood. Maybe it's a new thing. I don't know. I mean, what do you think?
I don't know what it's just getting worse. When I was growing up, I don't remember having these issues.
Oh, yes, and duct tape ain't working with it.
No. Yes, Tiempo, we need real solutions.
Finally, a candidate who has real values for Harlingen. Hey, Gary, you are awesome. Yes, that's
Absolutely.
true. That is true. Just the fact that he's using the word finally,
Yes.
that says a lot. Norma has my vote for mayor. Hey, thank you, Gary. You know Gary, Norma?
I don't know Gary personally, but I will represent Gary and his family and everyone else for the city of Harlingen. Even those that don't vote for me, I will be their voice. I will be their representation, because the truth is, I do want to help everyone. I know I've kind of ruffled a couple of feathers here and there just by running, but the truth is, I'm not wanting anybody to choose sides. I want them to choose Harlingen. I'm for all of Harlingen, not for, certain groups. And that's the beauty of having a new and a fresh voice. When you have somebody that has been sitting in the head of the governing body for 24 years, you better believe that there's going to be issues that arise, and that there's going to be there's going to be complacency, right? There's going to be these relationships that you develop with certain people. And it's not good. It's really not. And my goal, my vision is to get in there and do a great job. And once I've done the great job that we're going to do for the city of Harlingen, pass the baton to someone else that has that same vision and that is willing to commit 100% to Harlingen. 24 years is too long. It's impossible for you to have that same momentum, that same energy that you did on day one. And that's what we're seeing in the city of Harlingen. Look around. Businesses are closing left and right. There's businesses that are closing, not just businesses closing. It's very, very difficult to open it's very difficult to open a small business in the city of Harlingen. If we're not making it easy for people, they're going to go to other cities, and we need to change that.
I see. And Gary, again, he keeps going here with his good. Gary, keep coming. He says, okay, it's the mayor's plaything. It's the mayor's plaything. Hey, Sharky is here. Hey, Sharky.
Hey.
And Sharky's a fan of yours. Sharky lives in Harlingen. I live in Brownsville, so unfortunately I won't be able to vote for you, Norma, but I know Sharky is passionate about getting you in. He was the one, hey, let's get Norma in here. In fact, he was the one that initiated with you, and then I took over because I'm the one that gets the show together, but Sharky was the one that got you. And Sharky, you did a great job in acquiring Norma to come to the show. It's a great show. But dice Gary here, that the mayor thinks that Harlingen is his little plaything.
That's what I'm
That's
hearing.
how this guy feels.
Yes, and that's what happens when you have people in positions for such a very long time. They don't feel challenged. They don't feel. It's almost a sense of entitlement. This is my city, and I'll do with it as I please. And we forget. These politicians forget that they're not the ones in control. It's the citizens of Harlingen. We self-govern. We, the people, are the ones that govern the city, not the other way around. Elected officials are just that. They're elected to be our representatives, but they should always keep in mind that it's our voice that matters. It's our voice that controls. And for too long, it's been the other way around. And if you listen into some of these, city commission meetings, or you get involved, you'll see that. You'll see that the city can, they're not really open for engagement with the community. We don't see town halls. We don't see small listening sessions, which is something that I want to implement. We've had one town hall that I believe that I can remember from a commissioner, and it's a new commissioner that's been on the commission for about 6 months. But we need to be doing this, because if we don't ask our community what their concerns are, how are we going to know? How are we going to know what those concerns are? It's not so much talking, but sometimes you just have to sit and listen and internalize that, and then have a plan of action.
And Gary says, the mayor now believes that a constant leader is a good thing for the city. I mean, this guy wants to be mayor for the next 10 years. Todavía.
Right.
Yeah.
And who knows? Maybe it's like, he wants to die in office. I don't know. What's the deal with that?
And we've had a lot of missed opportunities in Harlingen. A lot of them. We've had the opportunity of getting the outlets at one point. We had the opportunity of getting an academy, of getting different stuff done. But at one point, their belief was, let's just keep it into a retirement community type. While everybody else passes us ahead and grows, which is what's going on. I mean, Mercedes is growing by leaps and bounds, and we're still behind the ball on that one. La Feria, so many other cities. San Benito's about to build this huge center that's going to have a big old lake in the front and a bunch of retail. They've got a retail stores with I think they're building a boardwalk over there at the Arroyo. They have the Resaca, but yet, we have a couple of new Mexican restaurants and a couple of thrift stores open up, and we're supposed to settle for that.
Right. That's absolutely.
You know what? If you don't watch out, you're going to lose the airport. The airport's. It's been there forever, and hey, McAllen's investing a lot in their airport. I hear Westlaco has an airport now. Or flights are coming into Westlaco. Little Westlaco, man.
They're working at it.
Yes, Westlaco is really booming right now, and that's a city that will take over if we don't do something about it now. We're right now in it. We have the ability to change what's happening with the city of Harlingen. We're at the cusp of change. We're right there. We just need to grab it and make sure everybody goes out to vote, so that way we can make those changes. But Sharky's right. We have lost so many businesses that have wanted to come into the city of Harlingen. Amazon, a distribution center wanting to open to the city of Harlingen. We should have fostered a relationship with them. We should have ensured that Harlingen is going to be the city that they want to open in, because that would bring jobs. It would bring jobs to our community. In addition to that, we're talking about the airport. If we have Amazon, you better believe that they're going to be expanding in our airport, because they're going to need that, right, for the distribution center. We've lost that. Now that's in the Upper Valley. We keep losing opportunities to the Upper Valley because we don't, the people that we have making these decisions aren't representing the city of Harlingen. You talk to people and they want that growth. Everybody that I have spoken to in the city of Harlingen loves Harlingen. There's not one person that I've spoken to that says, I don't want to live here, because there's this mentality, oh, well, if you don't like it, leave. No, absolutely not. We love our community. We love the people. We just need better leadership. Yeah. That's what we need. We don't want to move it. We shouldn't be forced to move from our hometown because our leaders don't represent us. We want to be able to grow responsibly.
Right. We don't need leadership that's only gonna represent part of the city. It's got to represent the whole community. Now, we were gonna have Aerotropolis. What happened with that? It just faded away. I mean, the real nice plans, retail, a lot of nice apartments and stuff started building over there, but it went away just as fast as it showed up. Nice little pictures and stuff, but nothing happened. It's been years now.
Right. And that's really a shame because we're centrally located. People, businesses want to open, but we have to cut that red tape. We have to make it inviting for people to come to the city of Harlingen. It needs to be we need to be an attraction. We need to be marketing. We need to be showing people how close we are to the island, how close we are to the border. Yet we're in our own community where we're not a border town, but we're close enough to bring in those businesses and not just bring in those businesses, but also bring in higher paying jobs and for them to live in the city of Harlingen. There's been talk about, well, there's more houses being built, right? There's more subdivisions, but we can't sustain our city with just more subdivisions. And these subdivisions that are being built without the proper drainage that is just flooding other neighboring neighborhoods. That's definitely not what we need. We need to ensure that we're growing responsibly and that not just in rooftops. We need economic growth.
Now, Gary says that sidewalks were promised a long time ago, and they came in high. See, I'm assuming he means high taxes, and they're just being installed right now.
So
maybe because he wants to become the next mayor.
I like Gary. I'm liking Gary's.
I like Gary too. I mean, Gary and Sarky ought to have a little conversation because Sarky beat me to it. He was talking about the whole new thing. But it's like these guys. I don't really know how old he is, but I mean, you've been in office for like 20 years. It's kind of like you're still on. You're still, okay, so you just learned how to use the cell phone, and it was those cell phones with those big batteries that had the antenna, and he's still working on that. Whereas Norma comes in with the iPad and, this kind of deal and the little pen and the whole bit. New technology, get with the program, Mayor.
The saddest part is the only time you see him show up is when re-election time comes around. And that's about it. Other than that, you won't hear about any plans, anything that's going on, unless you're going to go and have your little coffee time with him, which basically, I've really never seen it for the public, a public invite. It's mostly to those that, the ones that fork out, pretty much.
Right.
So,
Go ahead.
So where is he? I mean, don't pop up like the groundhog just at the time of re-election. Come out and show what you got for the whole community, not just a part of the city.
Well, right. It's because they don't matter. When a politician like that doesn't come out, it's because they don't matter. The citizens don't matter. He's in his, he's doing his thing, and that's all that matters. And so Gary says, can you say, Sarky, read that for me while I look for another comment?
Dice, why did AP build its major presence in San Benito? Well, San Benito jumped at it. I mean, I'm sorry, but once again, we lose out. Most of the time we lose out because they're sleeping.
So Norma, big business comes into town and wants to court Harlingen for to bring in business. You're gonna say, ahorita no tengo tiempo, ahí los vemos, call me in 2 months, or what are you gonna do, Norma?
Right. The first thing that we need to do, right, because people say, well, what's the plan? How are we going to change this? We need to make sure that just to kind of backtrack here, that as mayor of the city of Harlingen, I think people need to understand that I'm not going to do everything by myself, right? Not one person is going to make all of the changes. But the way they say it, right? The fish, it rots from the head, right? So you have to have strong leadership, and you have to ensure that you have the people in place in these different departments, department heads and boards to make sure that they're making the right decisions. And what I have noticed in the city of Harlingen, which is very troubling, is that we have people making decisions for the city of Harlingen that don't live in the city of Harlingen. Why is it that we have
Yeah.
The head of the EDC is a gentleman. I mean, he may be a very, a good person, and I'm not talking about his character or anything like that, but he is, resides in Hidalgo County. If you live in McAllen, but you're making decisions on businesses that are coming into the city of Harlingen, do you really care about the community, or are you concerned about what's coming in? Because that's not in your backyard. You're going home to Papa Do's and all that stuff over in McAllen and San Juan and far. But here in Harlingen, are we not, I'm not comfortable with people making those decisions for our city if they're not invested in the community. You better live here.
That's been on my mind for years.
They're probably consultants coming in for a pretty penny. That's
no, it's not consultants. They literally work part-time for the city. But let me tell you, my belief, my belief is yeah, exactly. Right? My belief is as soon as they leave their office, you know what they do? Look, on the way out of the city like this. Okay, I'm done with my day. I'm going to my city. You think I don't feel like
Gary
those
knows,
are the people?
Gary knows. Look at that. Boswell lives in Hidalgo.
Wow. No. So no, let me just clarify that. I don't want to saying that Norma said that. No, he does not. I believe that the mayor lives. You have and a requirement to be the mayor in Harlingen is that you reside in the city. I'm talking about the head of the EDC. This is the department that is tasked with ensuring economic growth. Right.
Yeah.
Mr. Garza is the one that is in charge, and he, from my understanding, lives in Hidalgo County. And there's no requirement that those individuals live in our community. I believe that needs to be changed. And whoever is going to be making those decisions needs to reside. That's these are not volunteers, right? Because we have volunteers that sit on boards. I'm talking about paid full-time salary positions.
Exactly.
Who need to reside here. In the city.
I mean, let me tell you.
Let me say this on it's like you run your household, right? You run your household, and you're gonna bring in the neighbor to make the decisions in your house.
Ándale, yes. Exactly.
Let me tell you. You go to a big old corporation, and they have a big, nice, juicy offer, and they tell you, you know what? I've got this offer for, Harlingen, and you think, wait a minute, I live over here. And I want to have that in my backyard. Why don't I tip it over that way? I mean, how easy is it that we're going to lose that opportunity because, he's favoring his own community versus somewhere where he just works at.
Yeah. Hey, Sharky, read this one for me, please.
Lisa Felix, it's a shame that other cities in the valley are getting new business and growing. Harlingen is still stuck 20 years in the past. A one-horse town mentality. When I worked in the city, the elites in Treasure Hills used to tell the city what to do. I think they still do.
So Harlingen is a very how can I say this without saying something I shouldn't say, right? We always have to be careful with the words that we use. But I'm just going to say, I'm just going to put this out there. There have been, the same groups of people, same families that have controlled the city of Harlingen for years and years and years.
Can anybody guess the three biggest names?
So these are decades, right? Decades, and they're just used to this influence and having control over the city of Harlingen, right? And we need to change that because we have allowed for that to happen. I am part of that problem. You are part of that problem, Sharky, right? We haven't taken the initiative to say, you know what, I'm going to make change. I'm going to make sure that we elect people that are not going to have loyalties to these families, to these dynasties, we're going to make sure that we elect people that are, going to represent our values and the entire city of Harlingen. Yes, we vote, but I will be the first to say I haven't gone to say I'm going to get all of my entire family and all of my friends and make sure that they're going to the polls, right? Because if we look at the city of Harlingen, it is such low voter turnout. In 2019, our current mayor won with less than 1,800 votes, 1,800 votes when we have, 40,000 registered voters. And this is less, this is about 7% of the people voting. And so when we allow that as a community to happen, then we're going to get the kind of government that we have, right? Until we make a change. And that is the reason why I said, you know what? If I want change in Harlingen, I'm going to stop sitting on the sidelines complaining about I don't have this, or that my kid says he doesn't want to live in the city after graduation that he wants. Well, I'm going to change that. I'm going to change it for my family and everybody's family. And I'm going to encourage every single person to get out and vote. And if we do that, then we have a representation of the city, right? Of everybody, and not just a select few.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
you know what?
You know, this is why we have this show, Norma. This is why we have these shows, because we put two people together. We always make connections here. In this case, we put a candidate with voters together. And and you know what? I had Myra Flores on the show one time, and there was a guy that literally said, you know what, Myra? I was totally not thinking of voting for you, but after this show, man, I'm changing my mind. And this is why we have it, because we get to see you who you are. We get to see your passion for and your love and your heart for Harlingen. And that's what I wanted to portray, you know, in this show. And yeah, it's so true. Let me show a picture before we go into the next one here. It's because I love to show pictures. And I guess this kind of says it all. You are from Harlingen and for Harlingen. I mean, come on. Residents of Harlingen should decide where they spend millions of dollars in our city. We do this by putting capital improvements on the ballot. Tell us a little bit about that statement.
Yes. So as a citizen of Harlingen, I would like to have voted to see whether I wanted a convention center in the city of Harlingen. I would like to have voted to say yes or no if I want the destination park. I would like to have voted to decide whether we spend those millions of taxpayer dollars into these projects. But I didn't get that as a citizen. Nobody asked me, hey, Norma, is this something that you want? We saw it in Cameron County. They wanted the arena, and we went out and voted. I voted, and a lot of people voted, and there was 70 votes that made the decision. There was 70 votes that decided, you know what, we don't want it. So those 70 additional votes decided that Cameron County was not going to be able to spend those millions of dollars on that arena because the majority of the people don't want it. And that is a representation of the people, right? I'm not saying that, you know, we should or should not have it. I'm saying the people should decide, right? And we didn't get that opportunity. We should have a capital improvements board that decide, you know, that talks about these improvements, and then there should be tasked with engaging the community to see if they wanted it. Because I will tell you, 90%, and I've been keeping a poll, 90% of the people that I have spoken to have told me, I don't want a convention center in my town. I didn't want it. It's not profitable, and my house is flooding, and I don't want it. You know, and we're in this situation because our government didn't take those steps. They didn't take the steps. Put it on the ballot. How hard is it, right? And if they say no, then the answer, it should be no. There shouldn't be any, you know. There's no ifs, ands, or buts, right?
They threw a fast one. They threw a fast one on that vote, and we did a show. We kind of broke the ice there. We broke it in, and because of that show, we had Judge Carlos Cascos came in, and we did a show on it. And man, yeah, you're right. I think it was 73 votes or 70 or 75 votes that made the difference. And this was a show that spearheaded that decision, you know, because all the facts were wrong. In other words, they were telling us the wrong facts. And I remember we opened it up. We did a PowerPoint, and we opened up where the facts were going to go, how it was going to be paid, and the whole bit. And it turned out, dude, this is not a good deal.
There was an agenda behind it.
Remember, Sharky?
Yeah.
That show?
There's always an agenda.
They were trying to pass it through.
Yeah. It's like our convention center. Why did we end up with a convention center in an alley? I mean, that's where trailers are parked behind Sam's and Bass Pro. Is like, there could have been a much better location. Why there? Right.
And what about the hotels that we already have in the city of Harlingen? We have hotels that have been around for many, many years, right? We're talking about, you know, decades, and these hotels are struggling. A lot of the families live in the hotels and they manage them. And we have, I'm talking about, 24 hotels that are in the city of Harlingen.
Right.
Now you have this convention center and they have this hotel attached to it. What did that do to the businesses of the city of Harlingen? That's a concern for me, right? And then when our government is saying, okay, well, the taxpayers are not going to pay. It's a hotel tax.
The taxpayers were going to pay,
right? And so it's unfair to provide misinformation or misleading information. It's definitely something that everything should be out in the open. Be transparent about what you're doing, and then allow the voters to decide. And that's what we saw with Cameron County. So I applaud Cameron County for doing that, for saying, you know what, we're not, as much as, the county judge went out and did all these, presentations, and it was our job as citizens to do our own research and decide, are we going to take that as fact, or are we going to go find out whether we want this or not, and then vote what our conscience, what we want. But if we're robbed of that opportunity, like we were in the city of Harlingen, there's nothing that we can do about it. Right now, we're just stuck with it.
Yeah. Now, for years, I know that Harlingen has been trying to gain some tourism. How can we gain tourism when all you're doing is knocking down? We lost the mall. We lost the old mall. I mean, they've been rebuilding them with thrift stores, dollar stores, and just nonsense stuff that's not going to bring tourism. I want to say this has been going on for over 25 years. I mean, at the very, very beginning, we had the Greyhound Race Park. That's another example right there. It had a perfect opportunity. It was going to become an Indian casino. That would have been a huge draw. Yet it was shut down. And now what is it? A vacant building.
It's a stone. It's a pile of rocks. It's there.
Yeah.
It's like
it's
a
really
big property too.
It is. It's really sad. My son, he's 18, and he didn't grow up like when I grew up, when we had all these great things, he drives carts, go-kart, like he does karting, racing, dirt bikes, he has all these ideas, and he's like, Mom, why can't we have this in the city of Harlingen? So one day he went driving around. He's like, I think that we can open a park, we can do this. This is an 18-year-old thinking about what he wants for his city, and he went by the racetrack and he was like, what's that building? It's huge. It's got it. And I had to explain to him, and it just so happened that my mother-in-law worked there. Actually, my husband worked there back in the day, and so we're talking about how cool it was, and that was an attraction we had in the city of Harlingen.
Yeah.
And it's just, these kids are blown away because they have never experienced the Harlingen that I have experienced. You know? And I just had an event a couple weekends ago with kids, right? It was a voter registration drive to get 18-year-olds and 19-year-olds, 20-year-olds to register to vote.
You need to get them ready,
and they're all sitting there. They're all between, 18 to 20, 21 years old. And it dawned on me that we've had the same leadership their whole lives. Like the whole time that they, from the time they were born until now that they're graduating, we've had the same leadership. So that's why they don't know any better, because this is all they've known. You said that earlier, that that we just keep doing the same thing over and over and over, because that's the only thing that they do know. We know, Sharky and I know that the Harlingen from before, right? When
but we've been stuck on reverse forever.
Yes.
Oh man, yeah, you guys are. I'm sorry, but that leadership's is trying to go through the wall. Listen, Harlingen has become a discount store capital of the valley. That casino is now in Eagle Pass and making them money. Yes,
they are. They're making huge money. I mean, our hotel taxes, our tourism would be booming. It would have been ridiculous. It would have been awesome. But you know what? I mean, I did a poll. I want to say last year or the year before on a splash town. I told my viewers on Harlingen, Texas Expo, I go, hey, how would y'all like for us to have a splash town here in Harlingen? Right on the expressway, a real nice one. I got over 10,000 comments and views and stuff. It was crazy. People were so positive about it, but yet Nothing from the city, not a comment, nothing. They went blank, silent. And I called them out. I go, hey, you want to respond to the community? This is what the people are asking for. And look, you have nothing to say.
Yeah, that's the problem is that we don't have any citizen community engagement, and people will tell you otherwise. They'll say, oh, well, there's events, Norma, but I'll tell you that they're the same people at the events all the time, right?
Yeah.
And it's not a listening session. It's more, let me just tell you, and different events for different organizations, which are great, but that does not take the place of community engagement, right? If you listen, I encourage everybody to listen to the city meetings. You will see that there will be, in the beginning of the meeting, there's called citizen communication. So if you, Sharky, you have a concern and you want the commission and the mayor to hear what you have to say, you'll get 2 minutes at the beginning to say what you have to say. But the problem is that you just get to say it. There's no response, and that's the way it's designed. I'm not saying that it's wrong. That's the order procedure, and it's okay.
But there's no follow-up.
Right. But what purpose does it serve if you're just getting to speak for those 2 minutes and then there is no follow-up and there is no response to those questions? That's why we need town halls. That's why we need small listening sessions within districts. That's why we need chair people for each community to say, you know what, I'm going to have this direct connection, right? Like a liaison, direct connection with the commissioner. So that way the commissioner can bring that to the commission court and they can talk about it and be responsive to the community. We have to engage the community. When we do that, we grow as a city and we get what we want. That is what the majority wants in our town, which is economic growth. And we're never going to, and we don't have that because right now you can voice your opinion, but no one is responsive to you.
Right. And there's so many fresh and great ideas out there, even from the younger generations, but you know what? Nobody's listening. This is where, term limits, there's got to be change in government. There's got to be some type of, community, council, something to where it gives them the opportunity to come on the podium and this is what I feel, this is what we've been talking about, what do y'all think, and kind of brainstorm, not just sit down, be quiet and look at what we're doing.
Right. And that's what I bring to the table. People keep asking me, well, what are you going to do different? That's one of the main things: transparency and accountability, making sure that, we have an open line of communication with the constituents. I'll tell you, people are coming to my office every single day already. I'm not even in office and people are coming to me and asking me, Norma, this is the concern that I have. Please come to my house. It's been flooded multiple times. I can't get anyone out. I have these issues with these stray dogs in our neighborhood. People are coming to me and asking me these questions because they feel comfortable already. That to me says that they don't have that communication with the leader of our city at this moment. And it's really sad because you've had all this time to develop relationships with the entire community and not just your friends.
Well, let me tell you one thing I've heard around the community. You have them shaking in their shoes. Yeah. And let us know what you need. Let us know if you need helpers with the signs, if you need more volunteers, bring it up, show people, give us the contact information. We'll get them out there.
Yes.
And you know what, Norma, this is really good here. What you're saying, you don't want to be mayor for the next 20 years. You want to go in there and take care of business y vámonos. Let the next leader take care of it, and then let that next leader take care of it. Yeah, it's true. Term limits for sure. Guys, here's the go-to person is Norma, man. You gotta elect Norma for mayor. There's no ands or buts about it. I would dare say that even if she's a bad mayor, you still got to take your chance because you got nothing going on right now.
Let's not say that.
Awesome. But you know what I'm saying? We need change. We need change.
we definitely need change, and term limits. I think Sharky hit it right on the nail. Term limits is on the ballot on May 7th. Early voting starts in April at the last 2 weeks.
And we are waiting. We are waiting. We went to go vote, and I wasn't sure. Looking up your name left and right, I was like, okay, it's not yet. But you know what? there's a lot of us waiting,
Yeah.
Yes.
and
And
that
And we need volunteers. Norma needs volunteers. We need people to knock on the doors. If Harlingen is going to turn into Team Norma, Mayor Norma, then she's going to need to be knocking at every single door, guys. And I mean, this type of shows do a little bit and bring awareness and bring people together. But quite frankly, nothing beats, face-to-face contact. Nothing beats face-to-face contact.
guys, it's not the time to fall asleep. We've done that long enough. It's time to get up and vote. Get your neighbor, your friends, everybody out there, and we need to do the change. Otherwise, we're going to be stuck for another 20 years the same way.
Norma, tell us a little bit about this picture.
This is my dad. This is my wonderful dad. He actually, on that day, he turned 86 years old. Wow. And so we had an event that benefit the Humane Society here in Harlingen. So I took him so he could get all dressed up and I could, show him off. It's been a very difficult year, a couple of years for me and my family. We lost our mom in 2020. And so that's been, my parents were married for 50 years. So it was very, very difficult and a struggle. And so it means a lot to me that I still have my dad with me. And as much as I can, as much as I can, I want to include him in this campaign. He's my biggest supporter. He'll be out there also block walking at 86 years old. So if my dad can do it, other people in the city of Harlingen can also do it. I'm all about family values. I get a lot of heat for like, oh, but she's a lawyer. It's going to be the same old. But I will tell you that man, my dad, when I graduated from high school and I was moving out of my house, he bought me my first car, which was a $500 car at the auction. And it was a stick. It didn't have fifth gear. I didn't know how to drive standard, but I made it work and I made it happen, and I'm really proud of that. So now that I've accomplished and I finished school, first to graduate first to graduate high school, first to go to college, first to go to law school, first to open, my own law practice. All of these things didn't come easy, but it's because of determination and the support that I've had from my family and, and God and believing in myself that has brought me to the place that I'm in right now. And I'm very organized in my approach. I plan everything, to the T. So this isn't something that I just decided from one day to the next. It's the time right now is the right time for me to do this. And that's why I'm stepping up, not for me, but for my family, for your family, for the city of Harlingen. And my plan is 6 years, 2 terms. I'm going to, I'll go in there. It's going to take a lot of work, right? That first year to clean up and get going. But I believe within 2 terms, I can change Harlingen around and provide that city, that community that we want, a thriving community where my son will graduate from college and have a job here in the city of Harlingen and be successful, have his own family and just thrive. And I want that not just for my family, but for everyone else. And we can do that. And at the end of those 2 terms, I will happily pass the baton to another person that will have that same vision. And if we do that, we encourage term limits. We will always have that person that's energetic, that has passion, that's ready to tackle, the challenges that are presented in our community. And we have that because it's fresh, right? New ideas, new perspective. You want the same thing. This is what I tell people, because people are like, well, why? Why should we do this? This is safe. We've had the same thing and was, it's not horrible. But is that what you want to settle for? Not horrible? Like it's just okay? No, we're never going to have what we want if we don't take that step and reach for change for our community.
Wow. Yeah. And Gary over here saying, okay, I work in healthcare at a major hospital in the city, which I need to keep private. And the city is being entitled to help support the health care in the city. He goes on to say about health staff coming to Harlingen. We need to target the new individuals. Maybe a new hospital, something big is coming in, and I wonder what's going on. Is the city, is the mayor asleep on that? Is he going to let it go by and it's going to go to San Benito? It's going to go to Westico? Who knows? Brownsville? I don't know. Yeah, opportunities come in, and sometimes they don't come in too often. And
Norma,
sometimes because nothing's being done, then other opportunities don't come in because they say, no, pues acabo. They don't work with us. Let's not waste time with that mayor, or let's not. That leadership's not for big business, so we don't want to go there.
Norma, how do we go about getting signs? I've had a couple of people message me, and they want to know about a way to get signs on their front of their property. They have a commercial property, and they want signs and stuff.
So yes, the signs I was reading here. Gary's got lots of good questions. The signs we can definitely get to you. I have a team that is putting signs every single day. So Sharky, you message me whatever addresses, and we're happy to place them every day.
Okay.
We're out there doing it.
I'm sure Gary wants a sign, right, Gary?
Yes. And if you want a number of signs, like say, hey, you know what? I want to pick up 10 signs or 15 signs for my friends and family, then I'm happy you can come by my office. I can, just let me know in advance so that I can bring them, or I'm happy to meet you somewhere. If I'm putting out signs myself, every day I'm putting signs. My husband's this is a family affair, really. We're all getting it done, and so it's if that's something that you need, we definitely can get that out to you. But I really do need the support. I need people to come out and volunteer. I need help knocking on doors, because the biggest challenge that we have is getting people to the polls and educating them. Sharky, you said that you went and you voted. I did too, right? And you went and you looked for my name. I can't tell you how many phone calls, text messages, private messages, and calls to my office that I have received saying, you weren't on the ballot. ¿Qué está pasando? We want to vote for you. They gave us the wrong ballot. No, it's that, and letting people know that, hey, it's not time. And that's one of the things that has been a problem in the city of Harlingen, that we're having elections in May when nobody is used to voting in May. You vote in March for the primaries, November for the general election, and that's what's going to be on the ballot this in May. The citizens of Harlingen are going to be able to choose to move the elections from May to November. So when you go out and vote for governor, when you go out and vote for your congressman, for president, you're going to go out there and also vote for your city elected officials.
Right.
The way it should be, because you're already there. And that's when you're going to get more people. Our current mayor is completely against it. You go look at the city meetings, and he does not believe that that's something that we should do. I'll leave it up to the audience to decide.
My mind is already going. My mind is already going as to the why.
Different, man. That's why. The mayor's probably saying, you guys need to vote in November, and you guys need to vote in April, and you guys need to vote in November. Okay?
Yeah.
Did you hear me? You guys need to vote
this is where he's hoping. This is where he's hoping that you lose interest. No, never mind. I won't vote.
Yes.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Right. And I need people to help me so that every day we're reminding people when to vote. When people vote, we get change. And I don't want to win with I don't want to be that election. We had an election recently, a couple of years back, where the gentleman won with one vote. Can you imagine how much stressful that is? I don't want to win with one vote. I want to win big. So that way, that way that there's no doubt that the city of Harlingen want change. They don't want the status quo anymore. They want growth. Yes, and they don't want the sleepy retirement city, like Sharky says. They want a thriving community where our children have jobs, they have educational opportunities, not just the educational opportunities, but jobs to come to, and for them to want to be here and raise their families. We need a nightlife, right?
Maybe as we get closer to the election, we can do rallies.
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
And Norma train.
whatever it takes to get people out and motivated. And Gary did say he's concerned that we don't have a bigger platform, a bigger audience. We need to get to more people, and I will do my part to share this on my social media.
Well, I can tell you this, Norma. right now, we have quite a number watching. We're watching it on YouTube. You're watching it on Talk Show Central RTV style. You're watching it on Harlingen, Sharky's Harlingen page.
Harlingen, Texas Expo, which has over 12,000 community
and
viewers.
Probably going to share it with some other pages. But by the end of the week, I guarantee you, we'll probably be at 1,000 views because that's the way the shows normally go. You know. But the other thing too, Norma, is that I want you to address my Spanish speakers or your Spanish speakers, the Spanish speakers in Harlingen. Esta es Norma, que está corriendo para su alcalde.
Sí, necesitamos que vayan a votar, ¿verdad? No vamos a tener cambios si no votan, ¿verdad? El problema que tenemos es que tenemos un alcalde que ya tiene 24 años y no está haciendo el trabajo de la ciudad, ¿verdad? No está representando a nosotros, solamente a ciertas personas, ¿verdad? Y Sharky le puede decir qué son esas personas, porque no me voy a meter en eso, pero ustedes ya saben, ¿verdad? Que necesitamos el cambio y necesito el apoyo de ustedes. Necesitamos ayuda con las personas que están tocando puertas, llamadas, a su familia. Estamos teniendo juntas. Necesito el apoyo de la comunidad para poder ser su representante. Es lo que yo quiero, ¿verdad? Yo quiero ser el voz para todos, no solamente ciertas personas. Y si tienen preguntas, dudas, llámenme, ¿verdad? O mándame mensaje. Vamos a tener, ojalá que podemos hacer otra show, ¿verdad? Que
claro
podemos
que sí,
contestar preguntas en español y también en inglés.
Podemos hacer
lo podemos, en español. Lo podemos hacer porque queremos a representar a todos y sabemos que hay mucha gente latina, ¿verdad? Que también no tienen la información que es importante de tener para saber, cuándo tienen que votar y en dónde. Y toda esa información, con mucho gusto, se lo puedo compartir, si me permite Royal, ¿verdad? En otro show,
claro que sí.
Más cerca a la elección. Y otra cosa que podemos hacer, Royal y Sharky, es podemos hacer un show cada semana, si lo quieren hacer ustedes. Estoy aquí para servir a la comunidad. Entonces, para mí será algo que le puedo poner en el calendario, si es que lo que gustan, ¿verdad? Lo están viendo para tener, ¿sabes qué? Cada jueves o cada martes, el tiempo que tienen ustedes, y aquí estoy para contestar cualquier pregunta. Y no hay ninguna pregunta que no estoy lista para contestar. No van si yo no tengo la respuesta, les voy a decir la verdad, ¿verdad? No voy a tener todas las soluciones, respuestas, pero siempre voy a ser sincera con ustedes.
Amen. Great. Great job. And you know what? Es verdad. Mis amigos de habla España, esta es la solución. Tienen que votar, pero tienen que salir a votar. Muchas veces no votamos o pensamos, no, pues al cabo no hay cambios. No hay cambios porque no hay voto. El voto es la voz. La unión hace la fuerza y los que votan, que hacen la fuerza, hacen el cambio.
Así es.
¿Quieren algo mejor? Tienen que ir a votar. Si no, después no estén ahí quejándose.
Es cierto, ¿verdad?
I mean, that's true. You know, now, Gary had made a comment, and I think sorry, Gary, I kind of passed the thing. But Sharky, read this. Sharky and I brought up issues. Go ahead.
Regarding the convention center and Harlingen Aerotropolis potential, are these issues going to be addressed?
Absolutely. So the issues, right, that we have right now is that these decisions have been made without the input of the citizens of Harlingen, right? We talked about that. And so there's nothing that we can do about that. We are stuck with a convention center, right? We're stuck with the decisions of a prior commission and a prior administration. What we need to do is move forward. Now that we have the convention center, I'm interested in knowing what exactly is that relationship, right? Because it's not owned 100%, right, by the city of Harlingen. It's got a partner, and where are those profits going? I know that it's been in the red. There's issues that it's not profitable. We need to make those changes. And if it's going to be part of Harlingen, pues ni modo, right? We have to figure it out, and we have to now make it make it work for the city of Harlingen because we're stuck with it.
Yeah, we bought it.
My decision? No, absolutely not. I would have not been behind it because I don't think it was a smart business decision. I'm a businesswoman and I think about, is it profitable, right? That's the number one question when you have a business. Can I afford this? And is it going to make me money, right? And if it doesn't answer those two questions, I'm not doing it, right?
We can't have buyer's remorse, right?
Right. Well, see, yeah, we can't. And as much as I wish I could say, you know what, I didn't want that, let's get it. You can't. Yeah. But we can get people to ensure, to know that it's here. As a lawyer, I travel all across the country. I attend conferences and I go to conferences all over the country. And maybe we need to start marketing to maybe lawyers associations, right? Yes. Right. And to have them come in and say, you know what, we're this close to the island. Host your event here. We need to be providing that. Yes, we are stuck with it, unfortunately, Gary.
And the thing too, Norma, as you become the next mayor, you're going to be stuck with a lot of mugrero that's already on the table, and now it's your turn to come in with a broom and clean it up, baby.
Right. And it's okay.
Clean house.
Yes, and that's the thing. We need to we need to have innovative solutions to these challenges that are going to be, that are going to present themselves. And just like, I've been in business for a long time, and I will tell you, whenever you let go of an employee, right, you discover all this stuff like, this is what they had in the drawer that they didn't, you didn't know. There's all this stuff that happens with a new administration. You learn. We're not going to know that until a new administration takes place, but it's okay. Just like I did in my business, we will survive. We will move past it, right? There's going to be new people, but we can take the problems that we have, fix them as best as we can, and ensure that we don't make those same mistakes going forward. And I am here to tell the people of Harlingen that I will ensure that all capital improvements are what the city of Harlingen wants, making sure that it's on the ballot, making sure that we have community engagement, and I'm not making decisions just because it's something that I personally want. It's not about me, it's about the city of Harlingen. So unfortunately, the convention center that ship has already sailed. They're in that contract. It's built, and now it's a beautiful building. I'll give them that. I went to the event for the Humane Society, but it's not making any money. We need to make it profitable for the city of Harlingen now that we have it, and making sure that we make smart choices moving on forward. The other thing that Gary taught, I don't know if you saw the comment. I didn't want to act like I ignored it. It was about the Baxter building. He mentioned
Yes. I wanted to go, but I didn't want to interrupt you. Yeah, here it is. Here we go. Yeah, it's supposedly a very beautiful building, or I don't know it personally. I'm not from Harlingen, pero can you address that topic, please?
Yes, there are certain politicians, taking pictures of the Baxter building in front of the Baxter building, posing that like it's, beautiful and it's something for the city of Harlingen. But we're not talking about the residents that live in the Baxter building. They was reported in the newspaper that they're having, a lot of issues with mold, issues. This is not a safe place for people to be residing. So that's something that needs to be looked into. We can't just have things looking nice from the outside.
How old is that building, Norma? Do you know?
Very, very old. It's
from the
where's
60s.
The media? Where's the media when you need it? Where's the media when you need them?
And it's unfortunate that, that was, I only saw that in the paper once, and that is important. I am concerned about the people that are living inside of that building, because to me, what I read and what I've learned, and I think it was reported on the news once or twice as well, is that it's not a safe place for the families that are living in there. So it's not meant just to be, a historical,
a backdrop,
backdrop it's not for photo ops. It's, let's work on helping the people that are residing in that building. So I am aware of the issues with the Baxter building, and I will ensure that as your mayor, that I will make sure that all residents of the city of Harlingen are represented, whether it be low income, high, everyone.
Yeah, and that shows a lot of heart here. You know, you wanted to, you saw that comment and you wanted to address it. And you know, I was gonna bring it up, but you know, you beat me to the punch there. And he said, Gary, man, Gary needs to run for office, man, because Gary seems to be very well
All right,
informed.
Gary.
or you need to come on the show, Gary, and share the stage with us. He said, Gary, my big concern is that Harlingen could have created a major development around the airport area.
Yes.
Well, those were the plans at one time.
Right. There, I mean, the thing is that if you look at the city of Harlingen, you study the city of Harlingen, you see what we have had in growth. We've had more banks come into town. I don't think we need any more banks. We have sufficient banks. We have more branches of banks. We have more payday loan companies. We have centers with what do you call it? Call centers. Those are the growth that we're getting. Call centers, payday loans. And what does the payday loans do to our people? Honestly,
oh my God, it puts them in debt.
Yeah, it
puts, you know what I call them? I call those chain links, because it puts them on the chain, and then you got to be paying interest, and they never get out of it. And a lot of times, they go and they have the title loans also, which a lot of people have a tendency of getting into those, thinking that I'm going to give it in payments, and then I'm going to pay off the loan so I can get my title back. But they don't realize that after the payments, you still got to give the whole amount so that you can get your title back. And a lot of people lose their cars. I mean, that's only making it worse.
It's devastating knowing that we continue to allow for them to continue to open in our community. If they're opening up so many, it's because they're doing well, you know, and I'm not saying that I'm not anti-business. I get that it's a business, but it is targeting our community that don't have high paying jobs. And that, you know, especially the payday loan, imagine your check going automatically. It's already, you know, we already have to pay a lot in taxes, and now part of that check is going to pay off the loan. And they're real sneaky. Yeah, Meadow, when you're ready to make that final payment, they entice and say, oh, you know what, let's sign you up for another one.
Oh,
you know?
Yeah.
And then you have, you know, and it adds up. If you got $50 over here, 100 over there, 200, and then what do you have left? You know, we don't need to be encouraging more of those businesses to be opening. We don't need to, you know, we need to encourage high paying jobs so that way they don't need those loans, right? Imagine losing your car because you couldn't afford to pay your light or your water, and you got that title loan and you didn't know all of the, you know, the fine print. That's not something that we want to encourage for our city. We want to encourage high paying jobs where you don't need those, where that people are saying, you know what, it's better not to open up in the city of Harlingen these title loan companies or payday loans because no hay gente, right? They all have good jobs and they don't need these loans. That's what
Another great example about it is the Vista Mall. I mean, the city invested millions of dollars a couple of years ago to remodel it. They remodeled it, redid it, they built the real nice one and stuff, but it never worked. I mean, it was destined to fall, and a lot of people were saying, "Don't do it, but nobody listened to the community.
Nobody listens to the community, and now we're seeing that the mall is being. We're never going to have a mall again there. Vista Mall, the Via Vista Mall that I remember, you know, like hanging out at the front and the fountain and my parents picking me up, you know, at the gold mine playing, you know, and going and spending all my Saturday there. Our kids are never going to experience that, right? Because of the fact that it's already been sold off in pieces. Dillard's is you know, sold.
Dillard's is gone.
Yeah, it's long gone. But the whole they're selling the building in, you know, compartmentalizing the building, selling it off in pieces. And with that, you get just a whole, you know, bunch of different businesses. You know, there was a talk that, there was, you know, 1,500 new jobs, right? That's what you'll see, 1,500 new jobs. But what you're not being told is that 1,000 of those jobs are call center jobs. There. And do they live here? If you're working in a call center, you can work remotely from anywhere in the United States. You don't necessarily know that we've got 1,000 people in the mall, because if you look at the parking lot, it didn't look like it, right? No. It sure doesn't. I mean, the majority of the people at the mall are going to the gym. That's
Yeah,
what I
well, the
see.
gym or with Bath and Beyond, maybe they're going to Penny's, and even Penny's doesn't get as packed as it once did. I'm there every Saturday morning doing chess lessons, and I mean, food court. You got you got China, you got the China pantry, you got a new Mexican store that opened up that's really good. You have a hamburger place, I think the Branding Iron or something like that, and then you got maybe something else, and that's it, man. And I remember there used to be all kinds of food items there that you could purchase, and
Yeah.
a lot of it's just sell, repair, get jewelry repair.
It's done. It's over. Yeah.
It's mainly a flea market, quite frankly.
It really is. It's turned into a place where they have little
little shops.
Tables in the center. There's the people, speed walking, right? The vehicles are there.
Yeah, you got a lot of walkers that come in the
and that's okay, but it's never going to be.
Okay. Quite frankly, when it's busy, since I'm there every Saturday morning, I would estimate maybe 500 people, if that.
Yeah, I don't think
if
so.
that.
I don't think so.
And I'm just throwing a big number out there,
I don't think so.
but I don't think maybe not even 200 people.
The times that I have gone, there's people, maybe 20 people walking the area. They're doing that, and then there are people that set up on the weekends so that they can sell stuff, kind of like the pulga. And I think they do get some business in the middle of their. You're right. There's very few restaurants. I don't know how they're staying afloat. But yeah, it's definitely not a mall anymore, and it's not going to be Bath and Body. They announced whether I don't know if they've already moved out of the mall, but they're going out to they're going to be out where the west side of town has grown, right? The different stores outside of the mall, and they came out. I read it in the paper that they're going to be moving out there as well. And probably because they just see that they're not getting the business that they could if they were outside.
There's no flow. No.
Yeah.
Quite frankly, I mean, you got the music store that's, you got a couple of T-shirts, and I mean, you got Big Lots, but Big Lots doesn't have an entrance to the mall. You have to go through the outside, and then they're bringing in this new places to, the play places, where you jump and skip and do all that kind of new kids.
I think those changed owners already. It's a different name now.
Yes.
And then the biggest one is Gold's Gym. Yeah. Other than that.
Yeah. Gold's Gym is.
Hey, but we have some beautiful $250,000 LED lights under the expressway. How about those?
It's not just the biggest complaints that I've been getting lately that people are upset with are the sidewalks. I don't know.
Well, Gary was talking about them.
The sidewalk, we have miles and miles of sidewalks, but I understand that wasn't exactly from the city. It was coming from a federal grant.
Yeah, and it's okay. It's federal money, and we're never going to say no to federal money. But why aren't we asking for federal money for the things that we need, right?
Yeah.
And what about the sidewalks for the kids that are going to school, right? Those are the sidewalks that we need. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, at the high school, this gentleman reached out to me and said, "You know what? I want to support you. Come put these big old signs." And he's out right across the street from the North Campus. And so he's got a beautiful home. We put these big old signs on his fence. One facing the school and then one on the main street where the kids walk through. And as my husband and I, because yesterday it was Valentine's Day, that's what we were doing. My husband and I putting out signs. It was like 9 o'clock at night, and thank God the guy was nice about it. And we were out there putting the big 4x8 signs because if they want it on their yard, I want to be there, right? I want to be there. So last night we were doing it, and then we saw that there was like on the main street where the North Campus is, there's a sidewalk on one side of the street and not on the other. And this gentleman lived on the opposite side. And you could see where the ground was, where the kids, they've made their own little trail of walking. Yeah. And my husband said something that was important. He's like, well, why don't we have a sidewalk here? Tanto sidewalks that we're doing all over the city of Harlingen. Yeah. Here's where it could be abused, because these are where the kids are walking every single day, right?
Well, not only that, I think that's a safety issue. If it's next to a street that's busy and you're walking on grass, can you imagine if you step in a hole and you trip and you push your buddy into the street and a car comes by and whammo.
Yeah, and
I
they
mean, it's
have
a safety
like
issue.
lights, like across the lights to,
Yeah.
you have to push the button for it to turn on for you to, so it's not automatic.
Right,
So
right.
it is a concern for the kids that are walking, and that's what I would like to see in the city of Harlingen. Let's make
Right.
sure if we're going to be doing things like that, let's do it. Let's be smart about it. Just because money is free doesn't mean it should be wasteful, right?
Right.
Right.
Let's work on, let's use it in areas that needs to
In a
be
smart way.
right, in a smart way. There's some they're building like off the expressway. You can see them, but nobody walks through there. Nobody
It
walks
goes
through
it,
there.
it goes all the way to Loop 499. Who
It's
walked all the way over there?
exactly. Por eso digo, it's like, I mean, I get it.
But walking for exercise, I don't think so.
No, not in those locations. But yeah,
Right.
we need to make sure that that our kids, when they're walking to school, they're walking to the bus, that that they have a safe way to get to their destination. So I would like to see that.
Wow. Well, it's great. Well, Norma, man, we've been over here almost an hour and 20 minutes. At least
I
a good
know.
hour. This has been a great show, Norma. I don't want to go any longer because I want people to be able to
Right.
see the whole show all
Yes.
over again. That's one thing we discovered. When you go too long, they might see a little bit and then they gotta leave, because they
Right.
got other things to do. But we definitely want you back. Maybe one or two shows. I think you have a lot of information to share. I love your heart. I love your passion. That really came across. And, you want a voter with Gary, and I'm sure others. Definitely a Spanish show. Right, Sharky? What do you think?
Yes, absolutely.
See?
Absolutely. And there's so much more to cover still.
So, Norma, give us some last words, and then we'll let you go.
Yes. So again, thank you both for having me. I appreciate the support. I appreciate the support that I receive on your social media platforms too. I mean, it means the world to me. Thank you for giving me this opportunity. I just want to address everybody this last time and let you know that, yes, my name is Norma Sepulveda, and I'm running for mayor of Harlingen. My main goal in running is to make sure that we have a city that we can be proud of, a city where our children can thrive in, that we can work, live, and grow, and have our families raise their families, our kids raise their families in the city of Harlingen and want to be here, for us to have economic growth. And I understand that some people like that the city of Harlingen isn't McAllen and Brownsville. And I'm not trying to make the city of Harlingen McAllen or Brownsville. City of Harlingen is unique. We all have a love for the city of Harlingen. I think we can all unite behind that. And we don't necessarily need to grow our footprint, but I want to revitalize all of Harlingen, every area of town, get our existing businesses and help them, right? Cut the red tape and make sure that it's easy for people to invest in our town and help them build their small businesses and also attract industry so that way we grow in certain areas of town that we can accommodate that. And lastly, I am 100% committed to ensure that we do our growth responsibly and ensure that we are investing in our infrastructure. I do not want to see anyone's houses flooded anymore. The flooding has to stop. I want to ensure that we are working with our neighboring cities, as I said earlier, that we take a regional approach and that we work with everyone within the Rio Grande Valley so we can solve this problem once and for all. So that way we do not need to worry when there's just a simple rainstorm, that we can continue to work without worrying that there's going to be water in our businesses or in our homes. And I will commit to you that I will be your voice. I will always have an open door. I will always be the person that's accessible. I will have a published email address, a published cell phone number from the city, so that way you contact me directly. There's no one else that's going to be a buffer in between. You're not going to get the secretary. If you have a question or a concern, I will always have the ability to sit down with you and listen to your concerns. And that is a pledge that I do for the city, that I provide, that I want to pledge to the city of Harlingen.
Wow. Awesome. Well, Norma, man, you know what? We love you. Thank you. Hey, we're calling you the mayor, man, and
Thank you.
I mean, we're making it official. I think it was unofficial, and I think you knew it, but we're definitely endorsing you as the mayor of Harlingen. And I
And
know,
you deserve those fireworks on those storylines. Those are
yeah,
I love it. I love it. I love it.
and Sarky's been doing a great job pushing that. And you know what? We need to get you. We need you to become the mayor. And
Thank you.
absolutely.
great.
And I'm happy to come back whenever. However, we can do. I would love to see a show that is targeted to both English and Spanish at the same
Mhm.
Yes.
time. And I'm
Yes.
gonna tell you why. The reason is because that's what Harlingen is, right? We talk in English and Spanish
Right.
sometimes within the same sentence, and we don't want to alienate not one group. I would in the
Right.
spirit of unity, I want it to be that we can be involved all together. And
Oh
so
yes, absolutely.
if we can
Yes.
do that, I think that would be fantastic. So that way everybody has a voice, in with me at least, and
Okay.
once I'm elected and I'm in City Hall, I'll make sure that I'll carry that on where we are available to people in both English and Spanish. I don't see that much
Excellent.
in our government.
Awesome, Norma. Well, thank you, Norma, again. We'll see you. Go ahead and hit the red button, and
Thank
Sharky
you.
and I will set the show down in a little bit.
Thank
And
you.
have a great evening, man. Good
You
luck
too.
and all that.
Thank you for having me.
Ándale,
Thank
bye
you.
bye. Oh wow, man! What a great show, Sharky. I mean, man, we were waiting for this one a long time, and man, we finally got here.
It's so much needed though. I mean, that the change has to happen. It's been going on for so long. It feels like, it's the norm, but it's not. You see all the other cities outgrowing Harlingen, and it's not normal. It's to the point where, okay, if we're not moving forward, we're obviously moving backwards. So, it's time for a change. It's time for us to get up and vote, get people motivated, because I don't want to do another 20 years of being sleepy. Find out that, you know what, La Feria's got a big old mall, or you know what, Raymondville has the humongous outlet.
Raymondville,
you know, come on,
Raymondville is now the new capital of the valley. Oh my
come on.
goodness!
That's where we're gonna head if we don't make any changes now.
Well, no, no, no. I mean, come on. Rio Hondo wakes up, and all of a sudden something
They,
happens.
yeah, exactly.
Lucas Aves, and you know
No,
what? But it all falls on the voter.
yeah,
Citizens of Harlingen, you have to vote. You have to vote. So I would say, man, let's get at least 5,000 votes out there. That's never happened.
let's
Let's hit a home run, man.
let's
Hit a home
surprise
run.
them,
Let's hit
right?
a touchdown with this one, and try to get 5,000 votes out there for Norma. I mean, that would really say a whole lot, you know, and that's what she wants. So definitely. Well, Sharky,
Let's get some rallies going.
hey, let's do some Norma trains.
I'm for the Norma trains.
Hey,
Team
Norma
Norma
train. You
trains.
heard it here again. Ryan Grisati.
Hashtag Team Norma train.
Team Norma train. Yeah. So, that bueno, Sharky. Any last words, guy?
Yeah, everybody stay safe, and remember to vote. Don't vote this time and then forget about the next election, because they do that ahead to plan it, and so that we can skip the real elections. So yeah, let's remind everybody, our neighbors, our friends and family. Hey, you know what? Let's go vote. It's time to vote for the mayor.
And Gary, thank you for taking part, man. I know you were out there making comments, and I love it, Gary. Hey, man, if you ever want to get on the show, man, I know you have lots of opinions. Maybe the next time Norma comes in, you might want to come in as as a guest, and who knows? Maybe we'll bring some other citizens, and
Yeah.
that way people can see that Norma's not afraid to take any questions or concerns or suggestions or whatever, man.
I'm thinking that for the next one, I think we're gonna get some pictures. I want to get some pictures of the around the city, and get some more of some areas that have been neglected for so many years, and that's what we want to focus on.
Yeah, and guys, if you guys want to take pictures of that and send them to me, send them to the page or send them to my profile under Ray Martinez. I'm Royal, but my name is Ray Martinez. You can send them to me, or friend requests me, just send them to the page Talk Show Central RTV Style. I'll respond immediately. Normally, if it takes me more than an hour to respond, that's too long, and Sharky knows that for a fact.
Guys, he doesn't sleep. You can send it to 3 o'clock in the morning. He's awake.
Literally, Actually, Sharky called me that time at 3 in the morning, and I answered him. Right, Sharky?
Yeah. He's a night owl.
I'm a night owl. Well, guys, I would just say, buenas noches, good night. We will see if on Thursday. I'm not sure who we're gonna have on Thursday. I don't, have a guest in mind, but you know me, I'll probably pull a rabbit out of the hat, and I'll come up with some guests. Sunday, guys. Sunday we're gonna have a music show, but not a Latino, not a Tejano show. We're having an indie R&B show. We're having St. James coming in, and Coco Reyes is going to be my co-host for that one, and Sharky will probably join me as well. It's going to be an awesome show. And with Tuesday come along, we have Perlita Diaz from Brownsville. She's running for I think county clerk, and then on Thursday, we're having another music show with Columbus Toy. Guys, just look at our page. We bring people from all over the place, man. So, hey, and today I was talking to another Courtney. Shout out to Courtney. We're talking to my friend Courtney. She might come in as a co-host on one of those days that Sharky's not here with us. So, guys, you can hear the music, so you know what that means. We are about to take off because, hey, here we go. We'll see you, Sharky.